So what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
I'm trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
You like music, you like weed, well, we gonna be good friends indeed. This is not much I like more than smoking trees. They'll make you dance the do-si-do and teach you how the chiba grows. Smoke a bowl on the 420 radio show. On Lifestyle Radio.
I feel like we need a new updated version. Because we're
but
more than
right.
just on Lifestyle Radio now. We're
but
all
I love
over.
that song.
Well, no, we should just add like a little thing at the end.
No,
Lifestyle Radio, add more.
Yeah. Because when you go to Lifestyle Radio, you still end up at 420 Radio. So it's all in one. So we're both.
But where else are we? We're on Restream.
We're on Restream, but
where is Restream streaming us to?
We are going to 15 different places, including tonight. I'm hoping that we are actually on Instagram tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. I'll look while we're doing the show and see if we're on.
I didn't know Restream could do that.
Yeah, it just started. We're on Facebook, YouTube, CBG TV, 420 Radio. What else? Where else? Let's see if we're streaming onto Instagram here. We're on. It says we're streaming. If anybody's watching on Instagram, say
Instagram.
Instagram.
Now I want to go over to Insta to see where are we.
I'm gonna stick us over here too.
Anyways, welcome to the 420 Radio Show. It's a little lonely here today. It's just the three of us.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
It is Christmas hockey season.
Like how you said Christmas hockey season. It's like
hello, buddy.
A separate season from Christmas season and hockey season.
Yeah, but we've got two people that are not here because of a hockey game and another one that's not here because of a Christmas tree.
That's true.
Christmas hockey season.
Now, do you have nice weather today as well? Like it was plus 10 here.
Plus 8 here at one point.
Plus 7 or 8.
Yeah.
But it was windy.
Really?
Yes, very windy. Yep.
Oh, I didn't go outside, so it just looked
Chairs
really
were
nice.
blowing all. You haven't been out today?
I haven't been out in days. I've been sick.
I do that too. I just kind of I go in the middle of the week and get all my groceries, and then I don't go out again.
Yeah.
It's too fucking cold.
It has been cold, so that's why I was thinking if today was that nice of a day, like temperature-wise, it would be a good day to go out and get your tree if you haven't done it yet. You only have 10 days left to enjoy it.
I don't have a tree.
If you like me, I got a tree 4 years ago or 5 years ago. It's great.
Did you get do you have a fake one or anything, Marcel, or nothing?
Oh yeah. It's a fake one.
Okay, so I'm curious. I always ask people, I have an artificial tree too. What do you do with your tree at the end of Christmas? How do you store it?
You throw it down the stairs and leave it at the bottom of in the basement.
No, I have a big box.
Okay, so you put it all back in the box.
Yeah, back in the tote.
Do you just put it in a bag?
Me?
No, she leaves hers up year round.
I actually do. I leave it up, but I bring it downstairs. It's completely naked, but it is set up in the corner, just like standing all year round because I've done the whole box thing. I've done the bag thing. It's too much work to do my tree shift is every
4 pieces.
You gotta fluff it up. Yeah, but as soon as you lie them flat, all the bristles go all scrunched, and then every year you got to take it and refluff it all out. And
not this one.
No.
So it's got it's got a metal base that is a cross for the tree to stand on.
Yeah.
Right, as a base.
Yeah.
That folds up. If you take out the first section, which is the bottom, and you plug it in to the hole, you take out the next section, plug it in, and you take out the top section, plug it in. Then you run the cord over to the wall, and then you plug the whole thing in and make sure all the lights work. As soon as you do that, you go over and you just start touching the branches. They all fall down, and they're perfectly the way they were when they were out before.
And sometimes
see, I'm jealous.
So
I
very
have them
little-
all fall, but then they all do this. So I have to go along and I got to pull each little arm
Hi, D.
like this and pull them
Yeah.
so that way they're all
No.
like.
So the arms come down, but when the arms come down, all the tips are the same spot because we don't have to pack it in tight. The box, it's got like wheels on it so you can tote it around.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, man. You know, being Jewish is fucking awesome. I got a shoebox that I put all my dreidels in and my menorah, and I put it in the fucking closet.
You're the first person I've ever heard use that as a sentence. Being Jewish is awesome. All right,
Well,
on.
aside from having to go through, you know, the whole Hitler thing like that, being Jewish is awesome. I think so. The food's fucking awesome. European food is a, you know, I don't. As somebody asked
Is a
me,
what?
Somebody asked me this week if I can go out and get. I said you should go out and get a nice loaf of rye bread and make some you know, corned beef or something like that. I was like, I can't get a nice loaf of fresh rye bread here. It's all frozen. There's one place.
Make one.
They make. There's a cafe we have in town. One cafe, and he makes bagels once a week.
Yeah,
And they're
but
not bad.
you could make a loaf of rye bread or something.
Yeah, no, I'm not
Yourself.
into making and shit, dude. I can barely make a fucking cookie.
Oh, I can.
Yeah,
And I can make a brownie that'll fucking kill you. I tell you,
making
that
some
these
half
brownies.
Christmas.
Well, these brownies I've been making, I've never had a brownie as good as these. But they're
Is it,
the
is it
gooeyest.
something that you put together yourself, or is it a regular recipe?
Oh no, it's one that I had put together.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a fudge brownie.
Mm.
but
If you heat it up in the microwave for 35 seconds, it
Everything
becomes a
melts.
puddle brownie.
That's funny. Throw some
Yeah.
ice cream with it.
Yep. Yeah, but the problem is my brownies are medicated, my ice cream's medicated. When you do that,
Double dose.
it's really medicated.
When I start eating edibles, even candies, it's like every 2 hours I'm like knock myself out every 2
Oh
hours.
man. This isn't something that I should say, but let's just say cold medicine and cannabis aren't a good combination.
Oh, hey, you know
Or
what?
they are a good combination, depending on how you look at it. But I went to the store today,
Yeah.
and just as I was about to put my debit card into the debit machine, the gummy hit me. And it hit me hard, to the point where I forgot what the fuck I was buying.
Oh, I do that all the time.
And I had no idea what I was supposed to be doing next. I was standing there for, it seemed like an hour, which was probably like half a second. But the way your brain works, I'm thinking, fuck, man, I'm high. Where did that come from? It was great.
Rebecca's
Cough
got a-
syrup? I'm all confused. I thought you said you had gummies.
I had a gummy,
Uh-huh.
but I had an antihistamine earlier.
Mm.
Is this an antihistamine you take all the time?
No, it's only because I have a cold and I want to be able to talk to you people tonight.
So maybe it's only the antihistamine.
It
Because,
is.
like, I know. I just told Timmy to buy me some Robitussin, and I took some last night, and I shit you not, I was wandering the house, staring around the house, going, I want to do something, but my brain won't work. Like, why? I literally sat there for half an hour and realized that was what I was doing.
Yeah, back when Lennie and I worked together, setting everything up for Truro Cannabis and getting everything run, a couple of the guys got sick, really sick. And of course, it went through the whole facility. A month later, they called it COVID. But we all had it. And we all went through it. But it was during that I found out that if you're taking antihistamines, you might want to cut back on your ingested dose of cannabis. Because
Why?
it's going to hit you. Because it's going to hit you really fucking hard.
Why is that? Is it like eating a fucking melon?
Lennie just explained it's got something to do with the antihistamine.
Huh.
I'm not supposed, as being a diabetic, you're not supposed to use antihistamines and stuff like that.
No.
It lowers
No.
the blood pressure.
They're actually making cough medicine for people with diabetes.
They're
It's
making
right
a lot
next
of
to the
things.
other. It's right next to the other one.
Yeah, they're making a lot of things. Okay, now here's something. Here's something. I discovered shopping this week that I can get regular lactose-free cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not dairy free.
No,
it's just
no,
lactose free.
You can tell I'm really excited about that.
yeah, no, that didn't work out so well, to the point where I was physically ill for 3 days. So I won't be eating any more cottage cheese anytime.
So here's something I was going to say, Al, is what's super interesting about that whole thing where it's like lactose-free milk or lactose-free stuff.
We talked about it one day when you weren't here, actually. Lennie explained that they put the lactose stuff into the milk, the enzyme itself.
Okay.
That you're not.
So they just remove it out.
They remove the enzyme or whatever, and then they replace it with something, and that's something, I guess. Well, let's put it this way: it didn't. Yeah, no. I won't be eating that product anymore.
Lactose-free milk is the same milk, except they put an enzyme into it to destroy the lactate, and that's what makes it lactose.
So it's the enzyme I'm probably having an issue with.
Yeah, but a lot of people that eat lactose-free stuff think that their lactose is the problem when it's not lactose, it's dairy.
That's like my problem. Yeah, it makes me...
But the majority of people that have an issue with dairy is from the lactose that's in dairy.
That's right. Yes.
In my case, my issue with dairy is I'm allergic to an enzyme in the milk.
That might be
so it doesn't matter if it's lactose-free or if it's not. If it's cow's milk, there's an enzyme in cow's milk. I can drink goat's milk.
Really?
Without an issue.
Silk. I've had silk and things like that, but it gives me...
I don't like those. I grew up not being able to drink milk until we got a family friend that actually had goats that he milked.
Yeah.
And then I used to get whole fat goat's milk, which was great.
Why didn't you?
But when I could no longer get that, it was easier for me just never to drink milk. Which sucks if you're eating hot, spicy foods, because milk is a great solver for that issue. But I don't like almond milk. I don't like silk. I can't drink lactose-free milk. I can't drink milk.
Dale's busy watching the Elvis movie with his daughters tonight.
Yeah, I saw that.
I haven't seen it yet. I've looked at it. You know,
I didn't see the movie.
I don't want to corrupt. Unfortunately, from what I've read and seen in the reviews, when they did this movie, she was really. I believe it's Francis Ford Coppola's daughter did this, right?
Yeah.
That's who did it, and she was really trying not to monsterize Elvis, because he was a real abuser. He really was at one point.
Yeah.
Right. And people are, it's like Cher. How would you feel about Cher if you knew that she was beating the shit out of Sonny in the background? You know
well,
what
I mean,
didn't Cher kidnap somebody?
Totally expect that.
I don't think that she has nothing to do with it. I don't even know if she met Elvis. I'm just being an ass. But she's got the #1 Christmas song of the year, and they're saying it is the...
Who does?
So Mariah Carey?
Cher. No, you fuck Mariah Carey. I'm so fucking sick.
I
of this
would
guy.
if she'd let me. You set me up for that, Al.
Yeah, that's her free pass one, Al.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was zing zing. You got me there.
Hanging around Timmy too long.
There'd be a lineup.
No, you had that sense of humor before Timmy.
I
That's
don't
true.
mind.
I was always
Mariah
dirty.
Carey. I mean, I've never been a big Cher fan.
Oh,
My fir-
don't let Timmy hear that. Jeez.
My
He loves
I
first,
think
Cher.
it was Rebel Wilson did the
First
best
concert
fucking
was
parody
Sonny
of her
and
song,
Cher.
though.
my first concert going, my mom gave us a choice. It was either the Rolling Stones or Sonny and Cher. They were playing down at the exhibition in the bandstand, right?
And
The
you
one-
didn't
they-
pick
and
the
they wrote-
Stones?
We went to. I'm not a big Stones fan, even now.
That was funny.
We decided that it was Sonny and Cher. So it's not the first concert that I went to because we grew up at the Forum down at Ontario Place, but it's the first big concert. But it was back when they would sing and they would do their show, and then everybody would rush the stage and they would stand there and talk to you and shake your hand and sign autographs and stuff like that, and not just run away.
That would have been awesome to see, though, Sonny and Cher together.
That's what I mean. It was, it was the whole "I got you, babe," the whole fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
It was a different time back then.
That's funny. My first concert was actually at Ontario Place.
Who was it?
It was that, like, it was like outdoor in the field.
The Forum. It would have been the Forum, yeah.
It was, I think Peter Noon was there.
Okay.
And the Turtles. I remember the Turtles.
Turtles were there all the time. There was a lot of groups that came around in the summer.
I remember singing
Peter
Happy
Tosh.
Together.
Peter Tosh was always there. Doug and the Slugs. Buddy Rich. BB King used to. We used to go. My mom would take us down there on a Saturday afternoon, and they would go and have a spot there at the Forum and have a wine and cheese party and smoke some pot and listen to music. Well, we were running around at the water. It wasn't even the water thing. It was the rope thing.
Did they even charge for those tickets?
No, back then it was free.
I was gonna say I don't think my dad paid for us to get in.
They made money. Ontario Place made money back then. There was a lot of different bars down there that you could go to, and people would go down there and drink their face off, but then they started charging an admission fee to Ontario Place, but that came with whatever happened at the Forum, and then they took the Forum away, and then now we know they charge $475 to sit in the 30th row from the stage. Now, fuck's sakes. Fuck you, Taylor Swift. There, I said it.
You know what? Good for her for being able to charge that much. If you could, would you not?
That woman is going to be in music history. She already is.
Like, it's not her fault that the venues are charging that much.
No. Well, they do have a say. There's a lot of larger names that are going, hey, no, you want to charge $800 a fucking ticket, and I'm not seeing but $4 of that? No.
Well, I've been learning. I'm seeing a lot of things from both sides of not just like the music industry, but like all entertainment side. But like people want to work differently. Like there's comedians that want to do big stadium shows and arenas because they can do one night versus 7 nights. You know what I mean? In a smaller venue. But some people are like, I'd rather just do a smaller venue, charge less money.
Well, you actually make
because.
I've always been a firm believer that if you charge less, you get more people. And if you have more people, you make more money. You charge more, you have less people, you make less money.
Yeah, but that person's getting paid the same amount no matter what at every venue. The venue's earning more money.
So I can't remember who it was, but somebody put out a video outright slamming ticket sales and royalties. And I mean, because right now it's all about music royalties, movie royalties, royalties. The artists have to be paid. Yes, the artists have to be paid, but they get a hell of a lot of money from the studio as well. Let's not forget that. Okay. And the studio then turns around and keeps what they sell, right? So they get a nice chunk, and then the studio makes what they make. So it's the studio that is coming after you, not the artist, right? When you're talking royalties, because a lot of artists are like, you want to play my music, tell people about my music, you go right ahead, but please don't make any money off of it, because that's not fair. And I totally agree with that, right?
Yeah, I just don't understand why. Like, okay, if you're like somebody like Taylor Swift, I expect to pay at least $100 to go to your concert. You know what I mean? Yeah, but that's what I mean. I expect to pay at least $100 for like shipsies.
James Taylor was $200 a seat by the time I got there, and although I was up on a nice angle, I could see the whole stage and everything at the side of the stage. It was a lot of money for like, a 20-minute walk upstairs to get to your seat kind of thing. Right? But that wasn't a bad price. That was actually a good price for a ticket. So.
Yeah, it's just crazy when tickets are almost $1,000 to go to an event. Like, I wanted to go see a comedian that's coming to Kingston, and I'm annoyed because this performer is only choosing to do large venues, massive venues, which means they have to charge more for tickets. No. It's Bert Kreischer.
I've heard the name, but I don't.
He's the Machine. He came out with a movie this last year called The Machine. Funny guy. I just wanted to go see him, but I'm spoiled, okay? I've seen a lot of comedy shows, especially being with Timmy. I've sat in the front row. I don't want to sit anywhere but the front row anymore. So in order to get that ticket, it's like $800 for a shit venue. Really, like, it's not it's the K-Rock Center or whatever in fucking Kingston. And if you know anything about comedy is not best well served in a large space. It's in a dark, low ceiling, you know what I mean? Tightly compact where everybody can laugh.
One of the reasons
like little.
Why there's a lot of comedy clubs, because that's what you're.
That's why. Oh, that's one of the reasons. I can't say that's why. It's not the reason, but it's one of the reasons why Puff Mama's Place did so well.
And she has a new venue now, apparently. Yeah.
I did not hear that. I know she's continually been doing shows, but I didn't know.
Said, and I think it was from Naomi, because she's the one that really puts out that stuff. Puff Mama has a new venue.
Nice. Good. So good.
I hope so, because she's a staple in the community and in Toronto.
I was going to say not just in the community of cannabis, but in the comedy community as well. I have heard a lot
of people breaks.
Well, I have heard her club mentioned multiple times on the Joe Rogan podcast in the last year.
Cool.
Yeah, talking about, remember that underground comedy club in Toronto where you could smoke weed? Yeah.
And you get shushed at.
Yeah.
Mary Jane and I went one day, and we were standing there talking with Joanna, and then all of a sudden people started shushing us.
Well, in all fairness, there was a show going on.
There was a show going on, yeah. I was like, oh, shit.
It's a great concept. The only thing I couldn't, that I personally didn't like with that location was it was just too smoky.
Yeah, I believe that room that she used was actually the garage at one point.
It was amazing. It was one of those, I remember the first time I went in there with Val, shout out Shatterizer. I went in and I was like, oh, it's just a little shop. And then she's like, yep. And then we walked in down that hallway. I thought it was like the staff bathroom down there.
Yeah. And when the lights are on, it's not that pleasant in there. But, I've worked in a lot of bars, and when the lights go on in a fucking dance club after everybody's gone,
oh, it's scary.
and it looks fucking horrible. Like it's not very pleasant at all.
That's actually was my favorite time of the night was when I used to work at Durham College, because we used to do the night clean, and the student center would close at like 3 because 2 was last call. Everyone would be kicked out at 3. We'd show up at 6 o'clock and, like you say, turn on the lights. People, I remember, find a cell phone, find like packs of smokes with people's phone numbers written in, like all over, shit, just all over the place in places it shouldn't be.
Bags of Coke.
Broken glass everywhere. Yeah, we weren't that lucky.
We used to enjoy when I was working at Toronto East General, I worked in Emerge as security, and at 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, there's not much going on usually, and it was a good time to kind of be idiots in the hospital, you know. Nighttime's fun. I prefer the night. Do you like the night, Marcel, or do you like to sleep at night? Excuse me.
He likes to sleep during the podcast. I'm just kidding.
It depends. I mean, no, I have no preference because I've worked overnight. I've worked during the day, so I mean, I'm one of those ones that
be up at night and sleep during the day. To be honest.
Yeah, that's my kid.
Pardon me?
That's like my kid.
Yeah. Like your kid.
Yeah. Stay up all night and sleep all day. I did that when I was working at Durham
when I was
College
younger,
as a cleaner.
Well, see, my favorite thing when I lived in the city, I mean, that was back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was nothing for us to go out drinking and wait till the bar closed, like drink all night till the bar closed, and then go to the grocery store and go grocery shopping. Way better deals at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning at the grocery store.
I'm usually up about 4:20. To be honest,
prices down.
If you message me around 4:20, chances are I'm there. Yeah, my body just wakes up. I'm up between 3, but then
now, if it's 7 a.m. and I'm still in bed, I'm sleeping in.
Yeah, exactly. 9 sleeping until 9 now is you know.
I can't do it. Sleeping in for me is like 8 o'clock.
I slept till 9:30 today, but I went to bed at 3.
So the OCS. Let's talk about OCS. You guys are in Ontario.
Boo.
Let's talk about the OCS.
I feel like we should have like the sound, you know, like instead of clap.
They're making like, changes. They're making
the government never should have let it all in their hands anyway.
With a stockpile of cash.
They got what? Where?
All right. They got caught with a stockpile of cash.
How much, Marcel?
They ended the fiscal year last March with $500 million.
Not chump change.
No, not little change. So that's how they ended their year.
500 million
was $500 million of extra cash. And in their 2021 or 2020-2021 annual report, OCS said that it was proud of its financial contributions that support important public services.
Like what?
Yet, OCS didn't start making dividend payments until 3 months ago.
Wow.
Ontario's portion of the cannabis excise tax is paid by the federal government, not by OCS. So, even though back in 2020, they're telling everybody that they were making financial contributions, they weren't. They were stockpiling $500 million.
I'm sorry, I'm over here laughing.
So
because
now that they've started.
Do you remember back in 2018 when Mr. Emery opened up that store in Toronto? Even he was paying taxes and paying money.
In the village.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, even you're like, come on, OCS, do better. That's all I'm saying. I'm laughing because I'm like, you guys are retarded.
just a few months ago.
OCS is paying their taxes,
Yeah.
all right? But OCS was saying that they were doing financial contributions that support important public services with
Oh,
the
but they
extra
weren't.
profit money that they were getting.
Oh, my
But
bad.
they
My bad.
weren't. They were just
helping the community.
stockpiling it, right?
Yeah.
Helping their stocks? What? They investing on that money or?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I mean they made off of sales as well as interest payments that they're getting off of investments.
It's the same scam that apartment buildings do when they don't pay the taxes on your held back last month's rent. Right? When you move, you're supposed to get your taxes back, a return back from that. But most buildings don't do
What taxes?
it. Just don't say anything. What? When you move into a building, like when I'm
What taxes?
When I move, not taxes, interest, right? So when you move
Damage deposit.
When you move into a larger building, no, you're usually paying first and last month's rent. So they take your first month's rent and they cash that as your payment for that month. They take that second month's rent and put it into the bank and collect the interest. They're supposed to give you the interest yearly.
Interesting.
Right. We call that a damage deposit.
Oh, that's not what it's called.
And
that's something different here in Ontario.
Yeah, but
the damage deposit is an additional.
Yeah, no, but
on top of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have two.
Yeah, but yes, they're supposed to pay taxes. But if the person that is getting the rent back or getting that fund back doesn't ask for the taxes, then why fucking give it to you?
Like when my sister moved, and we were in the same building, she for 11 and me for 4, and when she moved, she got a rebate back on the interest on rent from her last month's rent. I still have not, but then I have not called the building and asked for it, right? But legally, they're supposed to.
Yeah, I asked for it. That's right. Yeah. They are.
That's funny.
Most people don't
call them and say, "Give me my money, you bitches."
Yep, bitch. Give me my money. And
you get 4 years worth of interest there.
I want that box I left in the closet too back.
That's funny. I'm gonna call Valiant Property Management and tell them. Remember, I lived there like 7 years ago.
You mean all those old sex toys?
No, I brought those with me.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's funny. You know, the monitors.
Yeah. All right.
The monitors that I have, we're having a lag issue again. The monitors I have sitting on my desk here right now are monitors that Dean actually put in a box with 2 computers that I bought from the school. They had a bunch of computers that they sold. I paid $20 each computer for a computer, a keyboard, a mouse, and a monitor. He shipped them down, and now they're sitting back here in Terrace Bay on my desk. I think that's fucking hilarious. Welcome to the show.
Wow. That was a big leg.
I know, eh? I'm going to put on a video that we're going to watch a couple of minutes of just because I want to. Are we ready?
What?
I'm putting a video on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go warm up my drink.
I was going to talk about Japan.
Oh, we can do that.
I was going to talk about Japan, but go ahead.
No, we can do that when you come back.
What?
We need some comedy. The lag
only
is.
If I remember, I might be high.
I miss this show.
Sergeant Harrison. Sure. for treasonable conduct in the face of the enemy. And we're going to relieve you of your duties, strip you of your rank, and to give you a dishonorable discharge from the service of your country. Do you have anything to say?
Saki,要不你我想Saki 说不好，我 Saki， 我 Saki 有什么？什么吧？还是哪里嘛？什么的空气房？什么？所以我讲了，你找不一点。今天我去了，好吧？哎。
The prince has arrived, Your Majesty.
Very well, show him in, lackey. Oh, I do hope he's tall and handsome.
Hello. I'm Harold of Jordan, better known as the Virgin Prince.
Pity. Oh, well, you might...
Your Highness.
Come in.
What despicable manners, Herald. Pay your respects to Her Majesty.
Yes.
You're not supposed to curtsy, you're supposed to bow.
Well, I get dizzy when I bend over.
It's nice meeting you, Harold, but I must be perfectly honest. I had hoped for someone more swashbuckling.
This is an emergency. You better look at the patient's X-ray.
Nationwide. I'll get this out of the way here.
Doctor, the X-ray's here. Yes.
Come on. Swallow a light bulb. That's not good. Black cloud. No.
See it?
No.
You know something?
CBGTV is the way to broadcast your message to an audience looking for your products or services. Affordable advertising, personalized campaigns, special promos, event attendance, and more. Talk to someone today, in person or by email. Find us online at www.cbgtv.com. Or you can send an email to admin@cbgtv.com. Additionally, if your phone scans QR codes, scan this one to learn more.
Let's see a QR code. Oh, there it is. Look, there's a QR code right there. Hi, how are you? Hello.
Hello.
That's so weird. It was giving me two options because there's a QR code in the top of the butt break and then a QR code on the bottom. It's a bad request because it didn't know what the fuck to do.
It should take you to the...
No, it got confused because there's two different QR codes on there.
No, I won't put them up on together at the same time again.
No, it just means I gotta move closer so that way it focuses only on one. Ooh, that's
I know it works because it shows that 3 people that are watching the show have looked at it.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. I like it. And you know, if you like strain reviews, this is just book number 1. So, yeah.
Yeah. I keep saying I gotta get through my reviews. I probably got like 40 products now to sample.
So, how are you liking your
My Zenko?
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Especially when I go up to Timmy's place.
I'm still waiting for the gravity bong. They're waiting for
the Stundin.
Yeah,
I want a pink one.
They're waiting for them to come to Canada, and then I was hoping to do a review before Christmas, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I want one of those pink ones. They're so cute.
I have no idea what I'm in for. But I've only seen somebody came into the
They're
lounge.
Amazing.
Somebody came into the lounge with one, and I wasn't there though, like for a demo. And I wasn't there, so I'm excited.
You've seen the video.
It's got I've seen them, and it's got a module that you can set to the temperature, and
okay,
you can control it on.
That's what I like. Is I would love to try that. I mean,
well, that's what I said.
Years ago, we made one out of 2-liter pop bottles.
I got the information. Yeah, I've seen they have those at the store in town here. They've got the one where you pull
but that's more a bucket.
We used to make those, like Marcel was saying, we used to make those out of pop.
No, it's 2-liter pop bottle, not a bucket.
No, but it's like what they would call a bucket. You would take the 2-liter and you'd put it into a bucket or a sink or a whatever. Yeah, but this is so much cooler because it's like this rotating thing.
Yeah, so
that's the cool part.
2 chambers about the size of a 2-liter pop bottle.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. We'll try that one. When I get it, we'll do a good review and have them on the show. Apparently, they're very popular.
Oh, they're
I remember the first time I tried a volcano. It was down at the Treating Yourself Expo, and hi Timmy. You can always tell when Timmy comes down because you always look over.
Nobody's here.
Oh, I thought it was Timmy.
I was like, wait, Timmy's on watching the thing? I thought that was Timmy that said, hi guys, hope you have a good show. I was like, what do you know that I don't?
I don't know who this is.
If I go to Facebook, I can see it.
Yeah, if you go to Facebook, you can tell. Yeah, I wish they'd fix that. But so if you're watching on Instagram, please say hi.
It's Dale.
Oh, is it Dale? Oh. So he's
You're
got
supposed to be watching his movie.
While he's with his daughters watching Elvis,
That's funny. He's such a good daddy and a good friend.
What tell the girls not to do. Put your phone down. I don't want it.
No, he's watching a movie with the family, and he's still here for us. Thank you, Dale.
So, did you get anything back from the car show?
Yeah, Media Day is the 15th.
Of
what was that? February. The only problem with that is I do karaoke on Thursdays, which is also the 15th.
Oh, yeah.
So
and Timmy will be on the road. So
yeah, Timmy's touring all of February pretty much. I'm not even going to get to see him on Valentine's Day, I don't think.
Oh.
Wait, no, that's not true. He's back in Ontario, so I'll have to travel wherever the hell he is, and then travel home to work, and then travel back to where he is.
I don't think there's any interaction between us and Instagram. Let's see if we're actually on the side.
Although I am pretty excited that he is going to be on the road for the month because it's a really good comedy tour. And I don't think a lot of people are aware of this yet, but it's actually a Christian.
Was Canada one of the only countries?
It says on the flyer that it's.
It says fun and faith.
Yes, but it's implied.
Yeah, okay. To people who know, I just didn't know. I had no clue. Maybe I'm just daft.
Just the way the flyer and the wording is laid out, it's implied.
Yeah, apparently I haven't lived in I'm lived in my own little box because there are certain words that mean the word secular. Have you ever heard secular?
Yeah, that's not a word that pops up in my life very often.
Yeah, I've heard that one and I was like, what is that? That's only a religious term or some shit. I don't know.
So I'm not seeing anything on Instagram, even though it's telling me that we are on Instagram. So I guess that's a fail for this evening. They just said that it was available, so we're trying it. But so you wanted to bring up was it China or Japan there, Marcel? Russia?
Yeah, but it's
He
not a
changed
good
his
thing
mind.
for Japan.
He changed his mind.
Well, I mean, it is kind of good. Well, no, Japan is changing their laws concerning cannabis.
About time.
Yeah, they've approved a bill seeking to amend its nearly 75-year-old cannabis control act. All right.
Now this is the country that kills people if you
one
get
of the things that's going to
correct?
happen.
Isn't
No,
there was Thailand?
not Japan.
You are really
Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia or Philippines or someplace like that does that. Indonesia, I think.
I think it was Thailand.
No, Japan is going to now start allowing pharmaceutical products containing ingredients extracted from cannabis plants.
Oh.
All right, so they're going to allow medical cannabis in a pharmaceutical for medical use after. No, they don't have a medical cannabis program at all, other than for medical trials or clinical trials, and that's all they've allowed it for. In 2019, Japan approved GW Pharmaceuticals. What?
I said, what about?
So they approved GW Pharmaceuticals, and based off of that response, I guess they're going to look at doing that. But they've already got a booming CBD market. So it's the new medicine is going to have a newly defined limit of THC, and it's going to be categorized as a narcotic under the Narcotics and Psychotropic Control Act. So while they're taking a step forward in one part, they're taking a step backwards in the other, because THC is not a narcotic, right? But CBD can be imported and sold in Japan. They've got over 120 to 150 different companies selling CBD products in Japan. So my question was Canada one of the only countries that actually made CBD illegal?
I think in the U.S. as well, although they're going to regulate it.
Yeah, CBD in Canada has always been a controlled substance. Yeah,
for now.
These other countries have been. Yeah, but I'm saying all of these other countries, none of them have ever controlled CBD.
Well, I mean, Japan is
so I'm not
big
sure why Canada adopted
on the health
and labeled
culture and stuff.
Right? What?
Japan is really big on
yeah, oh yes, because
holistic stuff, right?
That's all fine and good, but that's not from day one. All right, CBD didn't start becoming popular until within the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, I know.
15 years maybe. And we had this massive boom of CBD distillate that hit the markets that was super cheap. So everybody jumped on it.
Oh,
and
I remember that rush.
Without anybody knowing the science of without anybody knowing the science of CBD and how it works and how short the bell curve is when you're using medical CBD, they just went apeshit and put the labels on everything. And that's why you can actually go out now and get a CBD infused pillow.
Yes, I've heard of these. We've talked
right?
about
What will a CBD Right. So what the fuck is an infused pillow going to do for you?
Might be better on my skin.
Somebody's got an answer. Somebody tell me.
Yeah, might be better. The material might be better on your
No,
skin.
but what it is,
What happens when you wash your pillow?
fuck, no, that's hemp. Well, if you're washing detergent, the CBD is gone,
Right?
right? But it's not. How do you infuse a pillow with CBD to begin with? But why bother, other than to make a shit ton of money by putting on the label that it's a CBD infused pillow, and people are fucking stupid enough to buy it.
But isn't CBD hemp?
No, CBD is CBD.
No, hemp is a plant fiber.
Yeah.
And hemp
So
pillows
hemp is
would make
CBD.
the most
But
comfortable
CBD
pillows.
is not hemp.
No, hemp is not CBD. Hemp is a plant. CBD is a cannabinoid that grows on the hemp plant. It's not the same thing. CBD grows on your cannabis plants that you grow or try to grow.
Shut
in some
up,
people's
Marcel.
cases.
If I grew.
Right? So yeah, hemp and CBD are not the same thing. Hemp grows and it produces CBD.
Hemp is a plant. CBD
Cannabis
is a
plants,
chemical.
which are also technically hemp, right? It's basically a compound on a plant.
Again, it's like saying bread
So-
is flour, but it's not. Flour is just an ingredient in the bread.
Yes.
Right, but see, the big argument came out of when this all first started coming out that it was distillate CBD. Then everybody wanted to know, well, is it off of hemp plants or is it off of cannabis plants?
Both.
Well, it's a chemical compound. It doesn't fucking matter. All right, it's this same compound regardless which plant it came from. Where
I
the
thought
difference lies is with all the other cannabinoids that are grown with it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought it mattered.
But if you're
in the end
distilling it
product.
down to only if you've got the other cannabinoids. If you take an acre of hemp and you get, you have a 5% CBD return and you extract all of that into a distillate. All right. So you got a pure, it's nothing but 100% pure CBD. And you take an acre of cannabis plants. What's a good one? It's got a lot. One of the Kush plants. Extract only the CBD. It's identical. All right. But it's all of the other cannabinoids that makes it work as a medicine. And if you don't have those other cannabinoids, then all you have is CBD.
One component.
That on its own has some limited benefits, but more probably psychosomatic than most people think.
Hey, Mary Jane.
Yes.
Your pom-poms are out.
Yes, they are.
She got mad and left.
I'm here.
You're really lagged, buddy. You might want to. How about you leave and come back, Marcel? See if we can get you caught up.
Yeah, I remember that whole that CBD isolate, and everybody was selling that shit. I went to a
You
flea
can still
market.
get it in stores.
Well, I remember I was at a flea market, and what stopped me was not the guy with all the CBD product, but it was the book. He had Dana Larson's book with the cannabis history. And I was like, oh, and I stopped and I was like, hey, you have Dana's book. And he looked me straight in the face and said, I love Dana. She's so awesome.
Yes.
And I looked at him and I said, and this is exactly how I know you're full of shit. And he looked at me and his eyes grew wide and he said, excuse me? I said, Dana's a man. I said, do you even know anything about what you're even selling here? And then he got very upset with me. And the customer looked at me like, what's going on? And he was like, you need to leave now. I was like, no, you shouldn't be here. Then I walked away.
I was in the park listening some kids talk about weed one day in Toronto. And I was there with the dog, and we're just sitting there, and I can hear they're like, and this and that, and oh man, yeah, this is so cool. And they're talking about this, and they're talking about components, and they're talking about hash and this and that. And I'm like, you guys have no fucking idea what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't say anything because they were just teenagers, right?
That's funny. You could have stepped in and been the wiser old man, you know?
I let the teenagers.
Because they just look at you and they're like, what are you
I let the
fucking talking
teenagers
about,
go.
old man? You know?
That's all right. I always love when my kids come out with some like crazy information on cannabis to their friends, and they're like, how do you know that? My son last time, he was like, that's kind of like what my mom does. She like teaches people about cannabis.
Emily comes in one day. I was visiting, and she says, my friends are driving me fucking nuts. They all listen to your fucking show. And I'm like, you just told me that your fucking high school students are listening to the... You have to be 19. If you're 19, shh.
Yep.
But I thought it was fucking because she would come in and they would ask her stuff, and she's like, I don't fucking know. It's fucking hilarious.
Well, I mean, our podcast is for entertainment purposes only, but you know.
Yeah, but you know what? I get the concern with kids and cannabis, but
of course, but we need to educate them.
We need to educate them as opposed to saying no. I grew up, we weren't allowed to drink. I drank. We weren't allowed to smoke pot. I smoked pot. We weren't allowed to do acid or go fucking trip on the fucking train tracks and
You're like, but I did all that too.
You know, we weren't allowed to be downtown on Yonge Street after the lights were out. You know, once the lights were on, man, we were in the fucking house. No, we weren't. But it was a different time. I mean, I grew up in Toronto in an area called Yorkville, which is now very high-priced shops and stuff like that.
I was gonna say Yorkville's nice.
Oh, Yorkville was a place in the 60s that was like Yonge Street, Toronto was like no other place. No other place. You know, there was a time when walking up and down Yonge Street, it was like walking in a, like the crowds were like pea soup. You're bumping elbows and shoulders. There was that many people. You go into the fucking video arcade and you had to wait in line to play the game that you wanted to because there were so many people there.
I grew up in Scarborough during the Paul Bernardo era, so there was no walking anywhere for me.
Yeah, you see, and that's my point. When I was a kid at 4, 5, 6, 7 even, I was walking to kindergarten on my own over a mile through hydro fields.
Oh my God!
With
Never.
friends. We would walk from, because we lived in a townhouse complex, and then we would all walk to school together. And
what year was that? Like 70? 80?
No, I was born in 63. We were in Listgate, 65, 70, somewhere around there.
Okay. So let's go 20 years. 20 years difference. And I'm walking down the streets of Toronto, and you would see a garbage bag, like a mangled up garbage bag, and your immediate thought was, there's a body in there. Yeah. Like, I'm so glad I don't live in Toronto anymore.
He's gone now, or is he still alive?
Who, Bernardo?
Yeah.
Oh, he's around. Homolka's out.
I just was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. She's just been released after a big kerfuffle, right?
Not just. She's been out for a while. She was actually working in Quebec at a school.
5 years, I think. 5 years, maybe 10.
Too long. These people should have been behind bars forever. You know what's disgusting? That you can get more jail time for wire fraud than you can for kidnapping somebody.
Look, you know, Charlie's still in jail. Right?
Who's Charlie?
Manson?
Oh. He's still alive?
I don't know, to be honest. Is he still
Marcel?
alive? Marcel, do you know? I think
Who?
that Charles Manson.
You're like our fact checker. I'll check it.
I think he's still alive. I think he's still in jail.
Charlie's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they deny him every 5 years or something like that.
Oh. No. Not unless we slipped into another one of those wormholes, because apparently he died in 2017.
Oh, no, he died in 2017. Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah,
really?
November 19th.
I thought he was still alive, rotting in jail.
See, it's a Mandela effect. We all thought Nelson Mandela died in jail, too.
No.
Wait, is he still alive? No, I'm kidding. I know he's not.
Next thing you know, we're going to find out Tupac's alive now that they arrested his murderer.
Yeah, was the guy charged? I didn't follow up on that. Was the guy charged?
Oh, my God.
I thought so.
There's people that actually believed that not only was Charles Manson and Marilyn Manson related, that Marilyn Manson was Charles Manson.
I could see maybe as like his son or grandson or some shit. Like, but yeah.
That guy. Now
I gotta stay. Right, but I gotta limit myself to the internet, because the more stupid shit I see, the more I realize that there's no hope for humanity.
Oh my God. Stupid shit. You want to talk about stupid shit? I turned on live news yesterday or some shit, and it was talking about impeachment and Biden. And I'm like, what's going on?
I know. You know what? I haven't watched a news broadcast in years. I used to be addicted.
Okay, so
I'm like, wait, is he gonna be tossed out?
No. But Trump's gonna be president.
No,
again.
I'm going to give you some really. You watch and see. He will, but Trump. They hit Trump with another kick in the ass. What their Senate and Congress did is they just passed a law that a president cannot remove them from the UN without a complete agreement of at least 2/3 of Congress and the Senate, both.
Who can they not remove?
It was never written into law. They're afraid that Trump would pull them out of the UN. Trump, or any president, because Trump is leading.
Be right back.
The US.
Are you talking about to pull America out of the UN?
Is he really? Is
Yes.
he ahead of polls?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, exactly what Trump wants to do. Because he doesn't think that there should be a UN.
Because he thinks they have too much power.
Yeah, but it's also, I think he realizes that they're controlled by the World Bank.
Wow. I know I shouldn't have laughed when you said that Trump might be president again, but like, we've been sitting up here with Trudeau for however many fucking years, and they've been laughing at us. So I'm sorry for laughing if you get Trump as president again. But that'll be funny for us to watch.
Yeah, Trump did some shitty things, but not as much as our prime minister has done that should be in jail for.
Yeah, y'all could still afford your groceries. Just put it that way. Oh, speaking of groceries, did you see that carrot video that's going around? But it's not just that. No, there's a video from a woman in the States.
No. What carrot video?
Okay, so there's a woman in the States who's eating a bag of carrots, and she's talking about how it makes no sense whatsoever that this bag of carrots came from Ontario, and she only paid 86 cents for this bag. And then it splits, and it goes to another woman, and she's like, yeah, hi, I actually live 3 blocks away from that farm, and I pay $4 for that bag of carrots. So, like, how does any of this make sense?
Big difference, isn't there?
How in the fuck are they paying less than $1 for the food that we are growing and sending there? And we have to pay $4. Like, We're starving here.
Because that's how global economics works. Fuck your own country to try and make as much money as you can off of another country, right?
Yeah,
So
except
give it away to them
we're
so you can be able to buy other shit at cheaper prices.
other stuff from America because we're selling it to them at dirt cheap and we're jacking our fucking people off.
Did you just do that?
Oh yeah, but there's some stuff that we buy from the States that's dirt cheap, and then we jack it up so high that makes it unaffordable.
Jack it up. See, now you seen Marcel do it too, didn't you?
Now, Mary Jane, I got to tell you something. Somebody, and I will not say who, somebody actually said something to me the last time we were jiggling about your jigglers.
What?
When we were giggling about your jigglies.
Oh, joking about my boobies. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Wait. Did they feel uncomfortable?
Wait.
They didn't like
it. Did they want to see them?
Being rude.
You thought you were being rude?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, so I just want to say for the record,
okay.
When I first met Mary Jane and we talked about
rude
on the show, what was one of the first things that I said to you? I don't have a filter when it comes to boobies.
Okay. I'm just gonna say this publicly for everybody. I think y'all know if you don't know who I am.
She's a fucking sunshine girl.
I'm not promiscuous. I don't I'm flirty. Yes, I like to flirt and have fun and joke. There is a line, of course. Yes. I have never felt that, even in the comments, and even if they were a little bit like sexual of nature or whatever, I've never felt in any way uncomfortable or threatened or felt like there was any sort of underlying motive with. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I have big boobs.
I've had a guest say to me, I was embarrassed
it's not just the boobs.
No, it's the pussy
It's
comment.
not just the boobs, because the first time I met her, she showed me what her vagina looked like.
That's right.
You say, and it's so funny. So you say that, but it was a painting I drew. And Marcel shouted across the thing. He said, "How are you drawing? Like, what are you painting? Why are you painting a vagina?" And I didn't think it looked like a vagina, but how is that? Like, to me, I don't get offended very easily.
Do we have it somewhere that we can show?
I wish we do, because I painted over it. So it's gone now, but like, it's one of those things that life is too short.
Really?
I feel, to get offended by things, and I'm really sorry if you felt uncomfortable. I'll prevent myself from using the word pussy. If that makes you feel better, that'll be the last time it comes out of my mouth.
Anyone who knows me, I'm going to say, so-and-so's playing with her pussy if a woman who's on the show picks up her cat and puts it on her lap. What's wrong with that?
Well, to whomever said that comment, do not go and watch the interview that we did with Madison Baines, because you did not like that one at all. So just stay off of that one.
There was a few with Maddie, and the one she's talking
Love you, Maddie. Miss you.
We were absolutely wasted on mushrooms. The three of
us. You guys were. I was clean. I was clean. I was clean. But I do love Maddie, and
That was the first time that I ever did. That was the first time I did shrooms with somebody else. Was with Madison Baines, who at the time was a naked news girl.
She still is, isn't she?
Is she still? I don't think she's on there anymore. I should have asked her. I was with her all day at that event thing.
I miss Maddie. I haven't seen her in since summer of 2021. I know, because I still have the jar of weed that she gave me.
At the event, she was there with Nick.
I went to her house. I went to go see her. Yeah, when I seen her, but I'm like, now I feel bad because I don't ever like offending people.
I've got
Sorry,
a picture.
Got offended.
I thought it was funny because somebody first I was told by somebody that they were embarrassed when I said so and so's playing with her pussy. She was sitting there with her cat in her lap.
Oh yeah, it's true. I did have my cat in my lap. I remember that.
Something that comes out. Okay.
Oh, you know what? We do need to be mindful of people that are not watching, though. Because if you're just listening, you don't see that
I'm
there's a
going to
cat
show
on
you a
my
picture.
lap.
If you're just listening, you're going to miss out on the picture of her vagina here in a minute.
That's funny. It's funny. And then what's even funnier is I date a clean comedian.
I think that the fire engine, the fire department is out with Santa tonight. I can hear them roaming around town. Every now and then they go, you know, playing they drive Santa around in the fire truck around town. Right?
Oh yeah. Who pays for that? Your tax dollars?
They're just sitting there at the fire hall. What else they got to do?
Yeah, let's waste some gas and some time.
You can hear them.
I'm just cropping this picture because there's other people in it, and I don't want them to be
Oh,
seen.
is that the photo of my painting? You know, it literally stems from the fact that I was getting frustrated. I'll tell you this. Here's a tip for anybody who goes to a painting class. If you've never done a group paint session or a puff and paint.
We used to do a paint, and what was the thing that we did? A
puff and paint.
Puff and paint. We did that.
Okay. Yeah, everyone loves those, right? And I like painting, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to go do that. And I went over there, and the lady at the front has this cool, brightly colored cow. And I'm like, oh, okay, I never painted a cow before. And then I tried painting it, and I very, very quickly got frustrated because here's the tip. Do not sit at the back of the class. Sit at the front of the class. Because if you sit at the back of the class, now you're staring at everybody else's paintings, and it allows you time to judge your painting. Whereas if you sit at the front, you can only see the other the teacher.
I can see you doing that.
So I was standing at the back, and I was looking at everybody else's, and I'm like, oh my God, mine looks like I cannot do this. So I just started painting abstract, and I started making a focal point in the middle. And it just sort of started evolving into what Marcel. Actually, I think it's my painting says more about Marcel than it does me, because Marcel's the one that interpreted.
It was all of us. It wasn't just Marcel, it was all of us.
But
I saw it from across the field.
Right. It's a testament to how we are together.
We were all together at Harvest Fest.
That's what I mean. This shows what kind of a relationship that we have with each other. We're pretty much family. Say anything. Yeah. Yeah, see? Buddy Weeds had to come over and see what the hell was going on because you were talking about petting my pussy. Oh, shit, I said it again. Damn it. Okay, after this show.
Somebody. Santa's coming. Can you hear it? Listen.
No.
No, because they went woo. They're right out. I can see the lights. They're right in front of my house.
Oh my God. Okay, so you're talking about people being right outside of your house. Do you remember the outdated thing that people used to do when they would go caroling?
Yes. I'll be right back. I'm going to go look.
I missed that. I almost want to bring it back. To see if other people would like to come sing.
Why?
Hang on.
Nobody answers their door anymore anyways. Just go knock on people's door and start singing.
I will get out there fast enough to bring this in here. I'll be right back.
That's funny. Al's starting to look like Santa Claus.
Yeah, I know.
How's the photo coming, Marcel?
Good.
I'll be happy to have it because, like I said, I don't have the painting.
Spot.
As soon as I walk out there, they drive away. They were right out in front of the house. Santa's out there. They got lights all over the truck, and the Christmas train goes through town as well, but it doesn't stop here. It stops at the town before us, Marathon, which is an hour south of us, and it stops again in Schreiber, which is just 10 minutes up the road. And I don't know who was performing this year on the Christmas train. We used to, we used to go downtown and watch the Santa Claus parade. You couldn't even fucking move. Am I even here? I don't hear anybody.
I don't. I haven't been to Santa. Can you not hear me?
No, we're really lagging.
Hello.
Again.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
See if this will work. Yeah, there's a lot of lag.
All right, I'm back. I just had to mute for a sec.
How's that? Is it better?
Is what better?
The lag.
I don't notice a lag other than on Marcel.
That's because
I don't know. Am I still lagging?
What happened?
The hell was that?
What?
Hey, what happened?
I don't know.
Oh, it's Al being a smarty.
Oh, that's Al. Yeah. Oh.
I'm going to call in the reinforcement.
She's got pom-poms are hanging out.
These are this is my favorite onesie for this.
I don't like puffy things like that. It kind of creeps me out. I don't like I can't touch cotton balls. I can't go anywhere near cotton. Ugh.
You know what's funny? I was never diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I got ADHD. I'm such a sensory person with my food, with my clothes, with my everything. It's funny.
Sorry, I was just trying to picture you in lingerie.
No, I don't like lingerie actually.
You don't?
Because it's they don't make it in the right material. It's all this weird.
I don't. I
have
don't.
You ever put on lingerie?
No, I have not. They don't make it in my size, but
That's not true.
I like. Yeah, I know. I like the feeling of satin against my body. I got a
you get a satin sheet.
Yeah. Okay. Don't say anything. Your boyfriend's here.
What? Where's my boyfriend?
Bedroom. He's upstairs in the bedroom. She's down in the basement. Now we know what goes on in your house.
Right?
Wait, how'd you know that was my house?
I don't know.
Actually, we don't know because Al and I have already talked. I could be at my house. I could be at your house.
You could be at Al's house.
I might be at Al's house in the backyard. We don't know.
No.
House.
You wouldn't want to be in Al's backyard. There's wildlife out there.
No. So what's going on tonight? What did I miss? What's exciting?
Marcel was just showing off.
I got to do this
my
way.
Painting. So apparently somebody got offended.
This is a harvest.
Somebody got offended.
Well, got offended about her boobs, and I'm saying about her vagina.
Look at how chubby.
Wow, how old is that?
So,
2018.
It was a couple years ago, but the thing to note, this was a puff and paint event, and behind you can see
everybody else's.
A couple of the paintings.
Those are the cows.
Which. Right. The task was to do an abstract cow with MJ's painting. It didn't quite look like that. And from a distance.
Yeah, I didn't have the lettering on it
as you can see by the basic outline shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, without the lettering. The lettering helps. So that's okay. She turns around later, as in, I think that was last year, that she did another painting, and she painted the same thing. That was at a puff and paint too, wasn't it?
Timmy. grab that painting that's on the wall. No, it was part of my... I actually did that painting for you, Marcel, the one that's in the bedroom. I did it. Timmy, grab that one on the wall there. My Yoni.
Which one?
See, now we know that he's in your bedroom. There's a man in your bedroom.
Show them.
And you're not there. You're not a very good host.
Just show them the painting.
Wait,
Take your phone or your laptop or...
Well, I don't want to show you too much.
There's the painting.
Yeah, don't show them too much. Just. I can't say the other word. I gotta call it a Yoni.
Toys are
There it
all
is.
over the counter.
Well,
There it is.
Yes. There you go.
So, regardless, she paints the same basic shape every time.
That's my abstract.
Which, from a distance,
it looks like a
The
Yoni.
thing that's missing is the clitoris.
Yep, becomes her. Yeah, well, she can't find it either.
Tim's public. He's puzzled.
He's funny.
That's the Timmy puzzled look.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't what I was expecting to walk into for sure.
No.
Yeah, it's probably way too much.
Wait, where is everybody? I don't even see everybody, by the way.
It started, Tim, because here I'll put everybody on. I got a note from somebody who's been listening to the show for quite some time, who was not upset, but embarrassed and a little bit offended with the fact that one night, well, not one night, very, very often during the show, I point out that if Mary Jane's holding her cat, playing with her pussy, or her jigglies are out or whatever, and it's something we've always done, but I've never had anybody actually say, hey, you might, going too far there. I don't think I've ever gone too far. She's got brothers, for fuck's sakes.
Who does? Who's got brothers?
Martin.
Jane.
Al counts Martin as my brother.
Don't ruin the story.
Was that one of the shows? Was that one of the shows where I have my disclaimer? And my disclaimer is,
You had to
life
put a
is
disclaimer
shit.
on your show?
It sucks. Get over it and have a laugh. Oh no, there's too many fucking snowflakes out there making life miserable for the rest of us.
Now he's going to offend the other
And
half.
themselves.
No, we're not trying to offend anybody. We're just trying to have fun and have a good time. And if somebody feels
Not right.
uncomfortable,
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
Throwing them on our desks to show everybody. Come on now.
No, I feel bad if
I made the
people
joke
feel
here
uncomfortable.
the other day.
but, like,
I said I should. No, but what I should do is I should actually ask this on Facebook and get people to send me their most offensive joke or a joke that they've been offended by.
Okay, so
fucking read them.
That's a good question to
I was
ask.
told that would be offensive.
Timmy, have you ever had
How?
somebody? Have you ever had somebody be offended by one of your jokes? And now you're a clean comic.
Yes.
You would be considered a Christian comic.
I'd be considered a clean comic. A Christian comic would tell a lot more religious or denominational jokes that a lot of church people would understand. So I although I perform in churches, I would be my designation, if I was to have one, I would be considered a clean comic. Correct.
But have
That's
you
funny.
been
A Christian comic would be like, he's not a Christian comic.
Has anybody been offended by one of your skits or one of
absolutely.
your lines? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll even tell people, like, even the word clean is a subjective word, because what some people find clean, others don't. Yeah.
I want to hear the joke.
Oh,
I want
geez,
to
no.
hear the offensive joke.
Wait, well, if you e-transfer $10 to Timmy Boyle at upstandingcomedy.ca, then I'll tell you the joke.
You don't do jokes for free.
Yeah.
I'll tell you mine for free.
Well, you can. Well, yeah.
Dance, you joke person. Dance, damn it.
No.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, Al.
No, I have an offensive joke.
What's that? Are you
No,
are you telling the joke?
He's on a delay.
No.
That's the joke.
I'll tell the joke later.
Oh, okay.
I won't tell
Okay,
it on
so
air because people get too fucking offended. And
Go ahead, Tim.
so basically what I experienced was that, so if you were in the club and you don't say, and all you say maybe is, shit. You don't say the F word, you don't say anything like that. You might be considered a clean comic in that environment. So clean has its variables. The reason why people get offended at some of the stuff that I say, and I don't even push limits, is not because it's clean or dirty. But for example, one of the ones that I did, I talked about Speedos, and I talk about, people who wear Speedos probably shouldn't be wearing Speedos. Larger, older, mostly hairy gentlemen, those type of things. Well, with that one in particular, somebody came up and said, I have a friend who struggles with their weight and blah, blah, blah. They would have been offended. Had nothing even to do with these Speedos. The fact that I was even making fun of, quote unquote, larger people. And I said, well, is that friend here? And they were like, no. And I realized, and because it happens, when it does happen, it's usually never attached to the person who makes the complaint. It's people offended on people who might have been there and might have been offended. And in fact, most of the time when you say something that you think might offend a certain individual, that person is laughing away, and it's everybody else who's uncomfortable. So I wouldn't say people have been offended at whether or not I'm clean or dirty. They're just offended at these things, and it's almost always on someone else's behalf, and they haven't even asked if that person truly would have been offended. It's just everyone's so afraid. That's what it comes down to.
I love talking with comedians because they're people, they're watching. They watch you. That's their gig. They watch what people are doing, and then they tell a story about it. So we had a number of years ago, before he passed away, we had Mike McDonald on the show. Mike McDonald is a Canadian icon as far as comedy. And he was really sick. You remember? Were you here that night, Mary Jane? I think don't know. So. But anyways, so he was so sick. He had just been cleared of his cancer. The first round of chemo worked or whatever. But he had the flu and he was laying in bed. And we were talking about offending people. I mean, he was a pretty clean comic. But a clean comic doesn't mean you're not up on there saying shit and fuck now and then. Right? It means
that's exactly what that means, Al.
But it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't, because I've seen comics that swear.
But it's all based on the individual circles and cycles. So, for example,
it's the context you make the joke. Right?
If you said
the word at the beginning of a rap song from a known rapper, and they're like, the first words out of their mouth is that N word. I hate that word. I shut it off, not because I'm offended, just because why? I don't walk around going, yo, kike, what's up? to my Jewish friends,
Well, but that's why the whole thing. That's why everyone needs to take a step back and calm down, because everybody needs to realize that everything in our world is subjective. Everybody who has an issue with one thing, it's a very personal reason why they have that issue in the first place, and not everybody has that issue. So a comedian's job is to tell the world through the eyes of what they have experienced. And the reality is that if we do our job correctly, a lot of people will probably be offended, because we're basically saying, this is how I perceive life. And people just simply don't like to hear other people's opinions or perceptions of life, because they think their perception is the only right one.
Because 9 times out of 10, when you go to a comedy show now, it's about life. It's not one-liners. It's not jokes. It's stories about life. What I did that day. Or
both are happening, but you're right. The question is, well, why are you in a comedy show? And it's like, well, I should be able to go there, but it's no different than, I mean,
we grew up doing comedy shows. Every year my mom would say, "Where do you want to go for dinner for your birthday?" Second City Fire Hall. Back when Colin Mockery was there, when all these other actors were there that now we see in roles in major TV shows and movies and shit like that. Colin Mockery is a Canadian fucking comedy hero. He's fucking hilarious.
For some people.
I've always loved improv, so that's where I always chose to go because I like that whole thing. And I don't know if you ever got the chance to go to the original Second City Fire Hall, Timmy, but
I did not know.
That was an experience. You go and you have your dinner, usually a roast beef dinner or whatever, and then they usher you into the theater, usually wherever you want to sit, and then people watch the show, and it's just one-liners and improv after another, and that's what made Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery and all those other guys from Whose Line that we watched for all these years making fun of each other. They're watching people and they're pulling things that they see out of the air and mimicking them, right?
Right, but that being said, there are people even in the comedy world, let alone fans, who don't appreciate or value improv comedy, prop comedy, people who use video clips on stage. There are comics that I worked with that if you didn't stand with just a microphone, clean or not, if you did not perform your entire show by just kind of the classic stool and a microphone telling stories, if you had any sort of aids or guides or look, hey guys, look at this and pull some in your pocket, you were right. So as much as and I love it. I love hearing, when you talk about like this love and admiration for guys like Mockery and Ryan Stiles and those guys, there is a segment of people who are like, bullshit, that's not even good. That's not good comedy.
No, I know. Yeah.
And that's what's beautiful about it. And this is what has stopped in our world and why stuff like comedy is affected and pretty much, and I mean, entertainment across the board, but the concept that we used to be able to be like, hey, that's okay, that's your thing, this is my thing, hey, we can still go hang out together and still be friends. Now it's like, if you don't like my thing, you're wrong, and and I hope your house burns down. That's what it's almost at now. It's like we can't, there is no agree to disagree. Everybody's opinion is right, and if you're not on my side, I want you and your family to die. That's the level of ridiculousness it's gotten to. Because I think the beautiful thing about our world is that there are so many differences. That's what I love about being a comic. I can share my stories, and we can somehow laugh together about my experience, because there are similarities to yours, although it's not exactly yours. And that diversity is what's great, but our world refuses to want to accept. We all want to be one.
Turn it around and make it about them.
It's always
that's where the phrase "my truth" comes from.
I had the privilege of seeing Robin Williams perform live twice in Toronto when I was younger in the 90s, and he walks on stage and just wham, it just starts and doesn't stop for 3-4 hours. He just keeps going. But
he's a machine.
But that's right. But yet, in his private life, as we found out, he struggled with depression bad. And but it was just like a switch. Any interview that I have seen with him, any performance that I have seen with Robin Williams, the minute he walks out onto that stage, he becomes Robin Williams. Like Ozzy Osbourne, when you sit there and you're watching an interview with Ozzy and he's just chatting, he's quite humorous, he's quite funny, but when he walks on stage, he's Ozzy fucking Osbourne.
Yes.
And there's a big fucking difference between Ozzy hanging out with Jack and Sharon, and Ozzy standing on a stage with a microphone in his hand, because the minute that microphone goes on, he's Ozzy. Just the whole.
And not every and I appreciate Ozzy. I mean, he was of the devil when I was growing up, but I mean, I appreciate Ozzy Osbourne. But what's beautiful, this is another great thing here too, is that if people could just come to understand, like I tell people, I've actually said from the stage, I'll tell people from the stage, I'll be like, look, I understand that not all of you are going to be enjoying even all of tonight's show, let alone, any of tonight's show. I said that's quite fine. There's enough people in this world to make me incredibly famous and still leave 95% of the world having no idea who I am or even care who I am. Like, that's how big the world is. And so, for everybody who likes Ozzy Osbourne, and says Britney Spears sucks, there's enough people to make Britney Spears famous and have them say, I don't like Metallica. And there's enough people to make Metallica famous, and just as many people go, I prefer the Wiggles. Like, it's, it's like any one of us only needs.
There's a huge Wiggles fucking documentary out now that
I've seen it. I love it.
Dude, they're just, they're crazy famous. Like, I say this too, like if and all you need, you have 1 million fans, you just get 1 million people who love what you do, There's 8 billion people in this world. You know what percentage? You know what percentage 1 million is? It's so small. It's like the ability for any one of us in this world to gain some sort of fan base and realize that 99% of the world is going to either not know about us or going to hate us. And you can still be incredibly famous and have all that you need for the rest of your life doing what you love. And if people could grasp that, we wouldn't have all this like comics that just, won't share gigs and are so competitive, as if they feel like there's only like 3 gigs in the world and we're all going to steal each other's jobs. It's like, no, there's enough gigs out there for all of us to stay working. Just make sure you're good at what you do and market better. I mean, it's just, everyone's competing for like this incredibly large population of the world in space.
It's not all about performing at Vegas. In fact, a lot of comedians, one friend of the show who's been around for a long time is Jeffrey Peterson, the 420 comic. Okay, I've known Jeff for a long time, and he's been plugging away down in Vegas and California for all of his adult life, basically trying.
He's definitely not clean.
No, he's not clean. No, but Jeffrey went on a whole spree of I'm the real Jeffrey Peterson when the Late Show was using the robot, when Craig Ferguson had the robot Jeffrey Peterson.
Oh yeah, I like him.
And he used to call the show to try and get on, I'm the real Jeffrey Peterson, and they wouldn't, they were not in at all. It's
right.
Like, no, we've got the real Jeffrey Peterson right here. You're just a person named Jeffrey Peterson. But
that's funny.
Comedy is, it's a different breed of people, and if you don't get it, you're a lost cause, because if you can't laugh at yourself or somebody laughing at themselves, holy fuck, you need to get a grip,
Yeah, I think that's the key.
Oh, I said fuck. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, like the moment you stop being able to laugh at yourself, it's over. And like that's, people have stopped laughing at other people for whatever reason, and that's fine. The problem isn't that. The problem is people have stopped laughing at themselves, and as soon as you do that, there's nothing left to find. If you can't find your own pratfalls funny, there's nothing else to laugh at.
Yeah.
So that's where I think the turn went. I think the turn. It's not about, hey, we can't laugh at other people anymore. Look, it's about, can you laugh at yourself? And if you can laugh at yourself, it opens up a whole lot of doors for you.
Let's take another little break here. No, we're almost at the end of the show, so fuck that.
That's funny. You're feeling it, eh? That's because it's almost the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually around 8:30 or so where we're always like, hi, how are you?
Yeah. Oh, see, if we were smart, we would have had one of Timmy's short video clips.
I was thinking about that after we talked earlier, Timmy. I was thinking about that. I should go and find.
Oh, Timmy he probably has one right now that he can send you.
We'll do that. We'll do that next time. I'll use maybe a clip of one of your shows for our break time.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I've watched you perform.
Well, you're not alone. There's over 8 billion people who haven't watched you perform.
You know, one of the funniest, the fun time I've had in a long time was, and although MJ was around, she wasn't in the car, was traveling through the streets of Toronto with Alan Park. That was fun because he has panic. He has major panic anxiety about being in a car.
Oh, geez.
Right. So he was like freaking out inside and just went on a fucking routine all the way from downtown up to Cabbagetown, weaving into the streets of Toronto. It was like sitting in a nightclub. And he just went. He didn't avoid on his
performing.
It was hilarious. Yeah, it was something that I will always cherish.
I miss that man.
That's funny.
He was a good guy. Yes, he was. You know, although
MJ has told me much about him.
I have to be honest. You know, I sit there and listen to the Green Crush while I'm replaying it on Thursday evenings, and I sit there and I'm listening to Alan go on and on and on how he's still here and he's beat cancer. Fuck you. I'm still
so
here.
Hard, I know.
In my heart, I'm like, buddy, I love you, but no, you're not.
Yeah, he fought to the very end.
I had a hard time watching some of those episodes, knowing that he's not. I didn't know him that long. I only knew him for a short period of time, really.
Yeah.
But he's one of those people that the minute you meet him, you're friends for life.
Yeah.
I mean, Mary Jane had a connection with him. I had a hard time having a conversation with him because he was so on. Like, just, you think I'm bad. His ADHD was like...
I was going to say, most of our conversations, he did most of the talking, now that I think about it.
There was a reason he was on the show that he was on.
I've traveled with a few of those guys. That's it can be a lot sometimes. I've got some great comic friends who it's hard to hang out with though on a regular basis
because they're always on.
The stage is their life is the stage, not the other, you know. And which is why it's great.
What I think would be really hard, Tim, is to knowing that lifestyle and watching your friends go through it with you, but then seeing the down as well, because there's a lot of down in the clubs, right? Because the expectation is so high coming from the other comics. That's your critics, the other comics. It's not the audience; it's the other comics, right?
Yeah, and unfortunately, the reality is that especially in the club scene, the other comics are worse critics and harsher critics and detrimentally, like there's so much bitterness and anger and a willingness to hold everybody else down lest somebody actually achieve the goal that they're all trying to achieve. That sometimes I'd much rather sit in a crowd of an audience that has a heckler or two and some people that maybe aren't laughing than to deal with a room full of comics that are all believe that you are the one thing stopping them from greatness, and they will do everything in their power to try to somehow take you down a notch. Now, there's some really great comics who give back a lot, but there's a large segment of the population that is so intensely insecure that they're actually the worst critics. I'd rather hang out with audience members than comics in a lot of cases.
Well, I enjoy the conversation with comics because of the perspective that it's coming from. Humor, for one, and because most comics, if you are a good comic, you're a people watcher, which I am, and that makes you kind of in tuned to what's going on in your surroundings, meaning where you live or the world. You have to, in order to tell a joke, you have to tell it over and over and over again until somebody laughs. And then you go and you try it on stage and you hope that 3 people laugh or 4 people. And
or you do what I do, and you don't try anything new until you're actually on stage, and it's the first time you find out whether or not anybody will laugh at all. Those are fun moments.
Well, and this is one of the reasons why, like Marcel and I and Marijane, we don't usually talk during the week. We kibitz now and then, but we don't have conversations. I fucking hate coming into the studio, 20 minutes of the show, and we're talking about this and that, doing the show already. Shut up! Don't talk! Don't say anything.
Yeah, we share articles. That's it.
We share articles and we talk, but we don't usually talk about the show. And when we have guests around, we know who that guest is and what they're about. We're not going in totally blind. But when we started doing this show, we had scripts, we had a layout, we had a whole show layout with times and everything and stuff we wanted to talk about. But
it morphed.
It morphed into majorly just, everybody brings what they bring, and we sit down and sometimes we have great conversations and great shows, and sometimes
Oh.
Well, I mean, sometimes that's just growth. That's growth and comfort level. Like when I first started, I was deathly afraid. This was 17 years ago when I first got on the stage as introduced as a comic, and
I couldn't do it.
I was scared when people would like talk from the audience. I was so in script mode, and for the first couple of years before I went full time in 2009, there were those first couple of years. I was like don't talk, don't move, let me stick to my script. 15 years later, in terms of the full-time comedy, I now, MJ can attest to this. Sometimes I'll spend 20 minutes just talking about the things I just saw in the room before I hit the stage. Like now, I've morphed, and I think that's what you're talking about with the show, is sometimes you get a place of comfort and you can morph from that scripted thing and slowly begin to, other skill sets come out. And now I have, I think, of a very blended sense of being able to just talk freely and openly and go down these wild tangents with the crowd and the environment that I'm in.
That's what Bill Cosby
and I weave in.
do. He used to just get on the stage. He knew what he wanted to talk about it, but it was just a story that he made up as he was going along.
Yeah.
Well, but there's a lot, and it's also, though, there's a lot of muscle memory, right? Like I can come in and out of jokes, like Robin Williams. Like Robin Williams was a perfect example. You just mentioned him. I mean, here was this manic performer who made it sound like everything he was saying was like, he just kind of came up with this thing. The reality was that the dude had in his head a Rolodex of ideas that he had said so many things over so many years and so many shows that this stuff that seemed like he was just making them up. They weren't made up. He just had them all. They were all just filed, and he was just able to go, I'm going to pull this. I'm going to pull this.
Yeah. I don't have the memory. I don't have the muscle memory to do that, unfortunately. I forget.
Well,
I get, like this afternoon, Timmy and I were chatting about some stuff, and I was really excited to talk to him about it. And I was like, but then when we sat down and talked, I was just like, oh, fuck. Just spinning. The ideas spin in my head. And when you don't have somebody to bounce those ideas off of, that's when you run into fucking trouble.
Well, no, it's even better than that. Okay, so like Timmy, you either have it or you don't. Put it this way: he goes up on stage, and I know he has a plan because I've sat in the car with him, or like in Los Angeles when he did the comedy tournament.
5 minutes, just you know.
Okay, when he did the comedy tournament, we were sitting in the outside across the street, and he was running through the material out loud, so I could hear it. So I knew he had a set plan when he went on stage, and I know he always does. But when he gets up there, like he said, he'll talk about what he just seen. He'll interact with the audience, which is my favorite. Is his crowd work, just joking around with people off the cuff. But like he'll go into the joke, and then someone else will interrupt him, and he'll do a little joke there, and then he goes right back into where he was. And then if I didn't record his sets, he probably would get off and be like,
"What happened?
That one joke, that one thing that really hit. Like you gotta play back the video to see exactly, how it was said, because it's so muscle memory that it flows. It just comes out. Like he said, babe, you talk for like an hour on stage, and your jokes, they're not the exact same every time.
Do you rehearse in front of her, Tim? Do you stand up and
he doesn't need to rehearse?
No, I mean, it depends on the moment. Like when she's talking about the one in LA, I was down there for a clean comedy challenge down in Pasadena, and there was, I had it was very, very tight times, and I had to do specific. If I wanted to get to the finals, I was going to have 3 very different sets. So it was very important that she heard me very consciously verbalize, this is how the set goes. But if I get hired for a gig and they're like, you've got an hour.
Yeah, I never hear that.
The key really for me is get the first 3 lines out. And if I get the first 3 lines out, so I go through that a lot. I work a lot on transition, very natural transitions.
As
and
long
so
as you don't...
Once I start the car rolling,
yeah.
If I can make sure I get those first 3 thoughts out in the order that I want them and in the way I want them, everything else tends to then just go. But
when you have a joke flop though, and you're just like kind of in your head, you're like, oh fuck, that didn't work. But you've got to keep talking, or you'll lose the.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, there was a time when I remember clearly this one time very early on where I forgot my line because I was very scripted in those first couple of years, like I said. And I remember that I wandered the stage talking, but my brain was actually trying to figure out where I was in my script. And I remember walking off that stage after 7 minutes, and somebody came up and said, that was so funny and blah, 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 blah. And for about a minute, I don't even remember. I just knew I was talking. I was saying stuff. So I was still somehow being humorous, but my brain was focused on digging through the script. So, and then in terms of what you're saying, though, in case what happens if something flops, somebody just said to me, I did a gig yesterday afternoon. It was like an afternoon thing on a military base. It was very cool. It's the first time I'd ever performed inside an airplane hangar. It was pretty awesome.
Are you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, it's a secret location.
Okay.
But they said, they were talking about silence and what happens if a joke doesn't go well. And I'm like, number one, you wouldn't know as an audience member if the joke didn't go well, because for me, number one, I don't fear the silence. And he even said, there felt like there was a couple times where, the crowd didn't respond how you wanted them to, but you just kind of, transitioned and moved and made it seem very natural. And it's like, yeah, that's, I don't fear the silence. I don't need the laughter because I understand that not everyone's going to laugh at everything that happens. And so if it doesn't happen sometimes, I'm comfortable enough in the fact that I will provide a entertaining, for example, and I will give you an hour of entertainment. I don't need that particular moment.
Call 1-900 joke.
Yeah. Like if a joke doesn't work, I just move on.
Do you remember dial a joke where you could on the rotary phone? You go,
I do.
900.
I do. I feel like telling a joke.
I used to do that.
What numbers are joke?
So I feel like telling a joke, especially if it's an original joke, would be kind of like singing an original song. If you sing a song that nobody's ever heard before and you mess it up, then people aren't going to really know that you butchered it. Like, they'll just think, oh, they wasn't that funny.
If you tell a joke and it goes sideways and it offends people, you know, it's not a bad thing, because
then send it to Marcel because he wants to see it.
It helps curve your performance, because you've got to be able to go like this. Something didn't work. Okay, let's try that. That didn't work. Okay, that worked, and you go back and forth.
I mean, look, the reality is that there's a reason why the phrase "don't let them see you sweat" or "act like you've been there before." Those are phrases that have eternal worth, right? Like, the reality is, you walk up on stage, and if a joke doesn't go well, don't let them see your sweat. Act like you've been there before. Move along. Like, keep the ball rolling. And most of the time, if you do it right and you do it well, but this only comes from, you can only learn this from being on the stage constantly. You can't learn it by practicing in front of the mirror. You can't learn it by writing jokes on paper. You gotta fall a whole lot of times and build up a sense of going, okay, if this doesn't go right, I've got A, B, C, D. These are all the routes that I can go to get out of this. And once you've fallen and you realize that you can get back up again because you're a good enough communicator and a good enough comedian to recover, now the fall doesn't even faze you. And if they don't see you fall and sense that you fell, they think it's on them at that point.
Yeah, but if nobody notices that you fall, then this has got to be our last little bit, then you didn't fall.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly. But they never saw you fall.
If you focus on the falling in your head while you're doing that performance, it ain't going to work out very well.
In the moment, I can't say that I ever consciously go, oh no, what is happening here? I still get those moments after the show in hindsight, where I have a show that I look back on after I've had an hour to decompress, and I'm like, you know what? I probably should have said that. And boy, that joke. Yeah, I should have said that. That joke didn't go as well as it. But in the moment, you're just living in a sense of, you're just reacting. You're saying something, you're reacting, you're resetting, you're saying it again, you're reacting, you're resetting. And
right.
that can only happen. You know, am I the best comic in the world? No. Does everybody think I'm the funniest person in the world? No. Do I have enough people right now that is building towards that? Yes. I do know, I'm confident that when I hit the stage, I have the ability to entertain a room for a very long period of time. And that is what helps me when the fall happens.
I'll make sure that I have a clip ready for our next show.
Yes.
That will be our break. We'll start having Timmy breaks.
We'll have Timmy breaks.
Hey, Tim, do we have permission to run your comic stuff?
Well,
tell
on break?
Facebook. Come on, tell Facebook.
On break?
Facebook, fuck off. Don't copyright them when they play my stuff. Go on, say it. Come on, say it. Hurry up, because we gotta go.
Are you going to show me which ones you're going to show?
I might let MJ choose them.
Oh yeah, that's probably better.
I trust MJ.
For me.
As much as I have video stuff out there, the reality is that any comic who's been doing it a long time realizes that whenever someone says, I saw a video of you online and I really liked it, it makes us feel great, because we all know that no matter how good the video is, it actually never really lines up with what you can do in a live crowd. And so when any people do see videos and they're like, I like that, you were funny in that, it makes us all go, oh, phew, because we never believe that the video actually catches what a live performance will do.
You got that, and that's got to be our last note. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next Friday, 7 p.m. Thanks, Timmy, MJ.
Thanks for having me.
He's still awake.
We didn't get to hear
his audio is muted. He's probably been talking this whole time. We got to go.
We didn't get to hear his
the Cannabis Broadcasting Group here at cbgtv.com.